cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Great to be back. I'm sorry everything's a little messed up. I am trying to make this new DNS thing work so we can like check in on more stories and stuff. There is like as you can see, normally we can't access this one. This is a new one that we're trying to access. WAFB is one that we've not been able to get on their page normally because it says like normally we're blocked, that type of thing. So I am just trying to see if it's working for like other papers as well while we're doing this. WBAL is another one that didn't work. Let's see if it works now. Just trying to see if it'll load up. It's very slow. Yeah, it works, but it's a little slow. Yeah, as you guys can see, like it does seem to work. It is just, I don't know, it shows a lot of ads as well. I may have to have like more of a look at this after, because yeah, it's just not working amazingly. Okay, the WBAL one seemed to work okay. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't impact our streaming or whatever, but at least we can access the pages now. I mean, that's better than nothing. But yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this. Before we get into the main topic, did you guys see what happened? So in LA, we had that tank that was going to explode, right? It didn't, and they think they've now let everyone back into the area, which is good. Now we have this one saying here out of Washington, a chemical tank holding nearly a million gallons of corrosive liquid imploded and collapsed on Tuesday at a Washington paper mill. So the one in LA didn't die, just this one died. Yeah, so everyone was worried about what was going on in California, but no one was checking out what was going on in Washington, apparently. It's pretty bad. There's people missing and people died as well. It's called the Nippon Dynawave Packing Co. in Longview. I'm just going to see if we can get a... Here, I'll show you some photos. Like, the photos are ridiculous. Like, so we were speaking about those little tanks, the ones in California. This one is, you know how there's that big white tank that's next to the ones in California? This is like that, but it's not that one. It's the one next to it, that big white one here. Look at this. This thing like imploded, and there was workers there at the time, like 8 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, it's really bad. And there was, yeah, here's the one I want to show you. They had vehicles next to it. No, that's not what we want to do. Okay, we can do that. There's vehicles here. Look at the cars. They tossed the cars like they were toys. It looks like a tornado has been through there. There's that truck there. There's another one on top of it. It bent whatever this was, and they reckon there was a bunch of people unaccounted for. So we're all worried about what's going on in Garden Grove, but no one was checking out what was going on in freaking Washington. I just try to get a latest update. What was the latest update on the people? I know earlier today there was multiple people missing and unaccounted for. What do they say here? No, we don't want that. Why are they burying the lead? Tell us how many people. They're saying 9 people were injured, at least 1 worker was killed, and then there's 9 others that are unaccounted for. So where are they? Are they under the actual tank? That's terrifying. I feel terrible that there's 9 families out there tonight whose loved one went to work and there's no answers. There's no answers about where they might be and who they might have come from and, um, yeah, where are they? So, ugh, terrible, really is. I'm very sad for this. Like I said, everyone works so hard on the California one. What do you think the chances are that we have this big dramatic thing happening in California and then that one doesn't blow up, but a different one does? I don't know. The odds of that happening in the same time frame is probably pretty astronomical. They're saying here that the chemical inside the tank is something called white liquor, which consists mainly of sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide and is used with heat to break down wood to make craft paper. White liquor, hey? Sounds more like something you drink on a Friday night. I don't know if you want to drink this one though. They're saying here that apparently when the tank collapsed, a lot of this white liquor went into a drainage ditch, and they're saying that maybe there is some sort of environmental impact as well. Says here that this company also had problems with safety violations and they had already been fined in the past a few $1,000s for OSHA violations. So why do all these companies seem to have some sort of back history in non-compliance? They all seem to do that. So that's what's going on in Washington. I wanted to show it to you because everyone was sort of cheering after, hey, we made it. Everyone gets to go home in Garden Grove. When in Washington, it seems to have all gone very terribly wrong. So I hope they find these missing 9 people. Yeah, they're still saying 9 people unaccounted for. Look, I don't know what that means. When that explosion happened in Tennessee, like a year ago, they said there was multiple people unaccounted for, but in the end of it, I think it was only like 1 or 2 people that they never accounted for. The rest of them were somewhere else, like some of them went home, some of them never came to work that day. It was like less than the original figure. So hopefully that happens here and we won't have like multiple people very, very ill, hopefully. All right, I want to go to our main story. And it's a strange one because I don't think I thought I'd ever do this type of story for you. What happens when judges don't do the right thing? And when I bring you some of these details, maybe you can tell me what should have been the punishment here. What should the punishment be for this particular judge, if anything at all? But let's wait and see, okay? So, okay, this thing is not loading properly. Anyway, I'll start and hopefully the loading will catch up. They're saying here a federal judge had sex with a high ranking cop in her chambers as clerks heard moaning, but according to the authorities right now, their names are being kept from the public because they don't have to disclose judicial investigations. Like they don't have to disclose the names of these people. And they're saying that it was so loud that even law clerks in the office could hear it. And that's how the oversight committee found out about it, is because the clerks kept hearing this activity like often, and they made a couple of complaints about it because they're like, we shouldn't have to hear this at work, and especially from a judge who's supposed to be like the pinnacle of doing the right thing. And yeah, so it says here an unnamed judge who serves within the 11th Circuit covering Alabama, Florida, and Georgia was ultimately accused of engaging in an extramarital relationship with a senior law enforcement official over a 2-year period. Hmm. They're saying here, investigators said the conduct created an extremely uncomfortable and troubling environment for staff and exposed the judge to possible blackmail because the affair had been concealed from the judge's spouse. They're saying here a 7-member judicial conference committee upheld disciplinary findings issued earlier this year, concluding that the sanctions imposed on the judge were appropriate, and proportionate. Now, those basically the sort of what they got in trouble with and what the penalties are, they're not even, I mean, career wise, they will dampen this particular judge's career. And this is what they have to do. This was their findings and their sanctions. The judge received a private rebuke, basically got yelled at in private, agreed to apologize to former clerks interviewed during the probe, and surrendered any future opportunity to serve as a chief judge, and agreed to indefinitely avoid serving on the judicial conference's committees. That's what they have to do. So they had to give up future prospects of moving further up the chain in being a judge, and they can't serve on any type of oversight committee within the circuit, and they have to apologize to the clerks. Imagine that. You're a judge, you've worked your whole life, and you get busted doing this, and then you not only do you have to give up your dreams and aspirations of becoming like some sort of, higher up person, you then have to go to all the clerks that you work with, and there's normally quite a lot of them, and you have to say, I'm sorry you heard me getting plowed in my chambers. I'm sorry that happened every Wednesday for the last 2 years. Eh, I mean, that the embarrassment alone actually might kill them. That could you imagine that? I feel embarrassed for them. I feel embarrassed that you would have to go and talk to all these people, all these other people that you work with, and be like, "Hey, you know how it is. Sometimes a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do." I don't know. I don't know what you'd say. Chipmunk said, "Is that what goes on in the chamber?" I don't know. I don't think so. Warner still said their names will get out. How can they avoid it? Um, they were playing night court. I think it was during the day. Cali Girl says that word again, Ping. What word? Which one? Which word? Did I say a different word? I didn't mean to. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what exactly. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Montana said doubtful they have any shame over it. I don't think they have any shame because they knew it was during the day, and they knew there was people working there. So it's not like they had any shame. I don't know. It's, sexual activity can be a noisy endeavor, I guess. Plowed. Well, we can use other words, but they're a lot more vigorous. They're a lot more vigorous. Chip. So what do you think the actual punishment? This is what I want to know. So we're members of I'm not members of your community. I'm members of my community down here, but you guys are Americans. A lot of you are. If you knew that a judge was doing this, do you think it would matter if the person was not law enforcement? If the person was a private citizen, would it have mattered as much? Or does it make it worse that this person is a cop? I think it might, because a cop might be someone who brings different cases to the court. They have to act in a professional capacity when they're prosecuting people. If it was a private citizen, would it have even got this far? Or is it just because it's a cop and a judge? And then my second question is the penalty handed down by the court enough? We often look to judges in our society as, people that we put on a pedestal to be the people who show us what the the scales of justice are supposed to be, right? That's who we look towards. They're supposed to be held to a higher standard than everyone else because they are the ones dishing out the punishment. So, should this particular judge be working there anymore? I think that's the ultimate thing I'm trying to get to. Should they have kept their job at all? Is it something that they have now sullied the name of the court by doing that? Have they created some sort of ethics? You got to think about it. It's a cop and a judge. There's so many people who think cops and judges are in bed together. It's a tale as old as time. And now this doesn't make it any better because how many cases, if any, I don't know, it doesn't say, how many cases might this particular judge have taken from this particular cop and handed down sentences or jail time? There is going to be a lot of appeals coming up in the future for this particular judge. Hey, McSpunky. Hey, thank you for that, buddy. I appreciate it. It's very kind, gifting 5 memberships. That's a lot of memberships. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. And Sean gifted one as well. You guys are very kind. I hope they go to good people. Everyone can get a free membership from these guys. Well, not a free for them, not for the people who gifted it. But that is very kind. Woman still said, I don't care how professional you have to behave. I can do it. You can do it? Okay. Let's see. Jill said ethics violation shipped to another district at least. Chipmunk said, are you guilty? Yes. Yes. Punish me, judge, with your gavel. They're like, not now. That's Wednesdays at 2:00. This is a courtroom. So yeah, I'm confused why this particular judge, one, can't be named. And I see a lot of people in the comments for this particular story. People are like, why won't you name the cop? Well, the cop's not married. The cop was single. They are a free person, although, they probably shouldn't be doing that either. They're a citizen in a way, but the judge at least should be named. They work for the community. They work for the local government. They should be named. It's ridiculous that they've been somehow able to keep their name under wraps. I mean, apparently, so you got to think about it. This poor, well, not the judge, but the judge's husband, he's probably finding out about all this type of thing. That is awful. I mean, I feel sorry for that husband. Here, the bombshell findings are laid out in a newly released disciplinary records and describe a courthouse scandal so extraordinary that investigators examined security footage, visitor logs, and even ordered forensic testing on a sofa cushion inside the judge's chambers. They went full CIA on their asses. They're like, we're going to test this cushion for I don't know, baby batter or something. They're going to be testing that cushion. We're going to find all of it. That's brutal. That they ordered. Sorry, I didn't see that before we went live. They ordered that to be forensically tested. That is brutal. They're saying investigators found the judge had sexual intercourse inside the chambers during business hours while staff members were working nearby. I want to find this disciplinary record. Hold on. Where is it? No, that's not it. Yeah, here. Let me see if I can, oh, I've got it. Yes. It is a white background. I don't know if I want to put it on the screen because it's like, wow, it's a huge white background. No, why do people not do things in a shade of gray now? That make all the jokes you want after what we've just been talking about, but in documents, I appreciate when people use a darker shade in the background. All right, let's have a look. What are we looking for? Let's go. What we're going to misconduct findings on page 15. All right, let's have a look. Okay. Misconduct findings. Let's have a look. Based on the factual record, including the subject judge's admissions, the special committee finds that the subject judge, name them. I don't think their real name is subject. I don't think you go around the courthouse going, hi, subject, how are you? Engaged in 3 instances of judicial misconduct. Those are the select judge engaging in an extramarital affair with a high ranking PD officer, and in the course of that affair, having sexual intercourse and other intimate contact. Make all the names you want up for that. In the judge's office during business hours and within hearing distance of staff, the subject judge's attendance at a partisan political event, and the subject judges making false statements to Chief Judge Pryor and to the Chief District Judge that were material to the investigation of misconduct allegations and the administration of the district court. That's a lot of words of saying that we busted them. We busted their asses. Let's have a look. So there's a bunch of stuff here in the footnotes saying that during a meeting about this subject, the subject judge reported being unbothered if clerks called the judge an expletive. A whore, maybe? Maybe that's what they were saying. They're saying Law Clerk A also told the chief district judge, according to a co-clerk, during the previous year, the subject judge had acted similarly. And they say in the chief district judge's memo to Judge Pryor, they wrote, the law clerk further indicates that the judge has, on one account, displayed visible anger, including yelling and cursing, directing towards the staff in what the clerk perceived to be unwarranted circumstances. Okay. So apparently she was also very abusive to the clerks. So she was also just like yelling and ranting and raving at them during times where it was not needed. Let's see here. They say here, far more troubling on multiple occasions during the relationship, the extramarital affair, the subject judge and the officer, while in the subject judge's chambers and during business hours, engaged in intimate contact, including, by the judge's own admission, sexual intercourse. I'd love to know how that conversation went down. You're sitting in a investigative committee and they call you up. They're like, okay, subject judge, come here, sit down in front of us, and you tell us how the officer bent you over the couch and what he did before that. Because, we need to know. We need details. This is very serious. We need to know all the ways that he violated you on that couch, because we took the cushion and we CSI'd it. We found all the semen. We found it all. We we found all the bodily fluids. If it wasn't so serious, that's exactly how this should be worded. It's brutal. I think you just die of embarrassment. I really think you would, because you guys have all had jobs, right? Most of you have had jobs. Some of you were stay-at-home mums or dads. Can you imagine that you would have to go up to your boss and your manager, and they sit you down, and they're like, please tell us about all your sexual activities over the last 2 years. Please tell me about it. I think you just pass out, die, end up in a hospital somewhere with some sort of like temporary amnesia. No, nobody respects that trash. I know. It's brutal. So after hearing all these things, and we didn't even go through all of it, do you think the punishment was fair? Do you think basically they can't get a promotion any higher than what they are? They're going to be stuck at their level. They can't go any higher within the judge role, and that they can't be on any oversight or these type of committees, a misconduct committee. I don't know. And they have to apologize to all the workers in person. Not written, it has to be done in person. So this judge has to go and say sorry to all the people. Um, Chipmunk said, "Tell us in full detail. Don't leave anything out." I know. Take a seat, judge. Right here, please take a seat. I know. Imagine that. You're used to telling people what to do, and you're used to getting people to speak about information on the stand, and now you're the one being told to give over the information. Or an oral statement. We will not have that type of filth in my chat room, Chipmunk. We will not be talking about any oral statements here. Woman of Steel said anyone else would have been canned, so it's a pretty lame punishment. I think if you ask me, it actually brings the court. So this particular district, I think it would make everyone question about the any kind of prosecution case that's ever been brought before that judge where that cop is involved. Everyone was just going to assume that the punishments, or if it's a judge only trial or something like that, that it was all done in a backdoor meeting, is the way I'm going to put it. And I think yeah, I think they've really brought the court into disrepute, and I don't know. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's appropriate. I think the minimal thing that could have been done is they could have sent the judge maybe back down a level. So this particular judge is a federal judge as well. I reckon they should have sent them back to community court, back to the lower level. Like that would have been a punishment. I don't know about firing them. I mean maybe, but I definitely think a demotion would have been in order. I because basically this judge gets to keep her job, but, but then you go, how many male judges have probably done this and not been caught? Or how many male judges have done this and then nothing's ever happened because they've just gone, all right, high five, judge, good work on slaying those women in your chamber. I mean, we heard about it in that case where a judge was shot and killed in his chamber. He had been doing something similar. He had been having women in there and um, committing sexual, transgressions in there. So I don't know, guys. You tell me. For some reason, our chat's not working. There we go. Is the judge in a worse position now? No, they took the couch away. I mean, no, not really. The judge basically just can't progress in her career. She can't get to the next level, which would be a chief judge. Not really. She's still working there, and she just basically had to say sorry to the law clerks who heard her in the chamber. I don't know. I think there's a balance here, and I don't know if they got it right. I'm not sure. Just trying to see if there's any other punishment. Yeah, here. The disciplinary findings also accuse the judge of misleading senior jurists during the early stages of the inquiry. Investigators said the judge falsely denied having sexual intercourse inside the courthouse and denied knowing who the allegations involved before later reversing course. Through legal counsel, the judge eventually admitted to the affair in October of 2025 and acknowledged engaging in sexual activity inside chambers, though insisted there had been no awareness that clerks could overhear what was happening. Come on. As if. The committee said the judge later cooperated with investigators and showed remorse, factors that helped persuade disciplinary authorities not to pursue harsher punishment. Although the special committee is deeply troubled by the conduct in which the judge engaged, the subject judge has demonstrated a strong propensity for rehabilitation and continued diligent service to the judiciary. The panel also cited the end of the relationship and the judge's pledge to avoid future partisan political events as reasons for declining to recommend stronger sanctions, such as a public reprimand. So this judge also went to a political event and was there publicly as a judge, and they smacked her down for that too, saying can't do that as a judge. You have to be, partisan. Woman of Steel said he was having sex with vulnerable women who probably didn't want to screw him. That guy, the guy that was shot, the judge, yeah, that was slightly different. But I mean, he was doing something similar, but maybe not as consenting in a way. Those women, I think, were doing it to get out of jail, to have a favorable sentence, that type of thing. I don't think they were doing it for fun. I think they were doing it because they felt like they had no other choice but to do it. So I want to hear from you guys. And this was they won't tell us where it was, although I read it's in Florida. So they just said Alabama, Florida, or Georgia. But I read elsewhere that this particular judge is from Florida. So not surprising in some ways, I guess, but Marlene said she will get a hotel room next time. I mean, I don't get it. Is that the only place she had? I mean, they get paid pretty good money for being a judge. I'm sure there's a local fancy hotel you could have met the cop at after 5 p.m. and done whatever you wanted. I find it strange that you would use an official place of work, where there's only a door and then other people. I mean, that's you're asking for trouble. Let me see what else is going on here. But no, we don't want to know about that. So yes, there you go. That is the findings, and yeah, they call it improper sexual activity in chambers with a law enforcement officer. And we don't know much about the law enforcement officer either. They haven't really told us. So we will have to hold on. I'm just trying to see if there's any other like, is there a name for this judge? If we can find it. I don't see a name. I think they're not going to give us one because, like they said, they did not have to do a public reprimand. They were okay with doing it privately, but the circumstances made it to the public at least. Yeah, so yeah, we do not yeah, it's definitely a conflict of interest. It creates an immediate bias or apprehension of bias. This can result in legal review of all the cases that the judge and the cop have been a part of. Jules said judges are elected in NC. They declare party affiliation. Interesting. Chipmunk said she could have taken the cop home. Oh, wait, she was married. No, yeah, she couldn't go home with the cop. No. Colleen said maybe the thrill of getting caught is enticing. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they're a bit exhibitionist. Maybe that's what it was. Jules said Judge Scarlett A. Well, a little bit, considering I think her staff called her a whore. I think that's what they said to her. So there was some sort of workplace friction going on there. All right, so that is your update about the judge. I don't have too much more on it. That is the sort of be all and end all of it. But I do want to head back to LA. And I've been getting a lot of stories, a lot of people emailing about what is going on in an abduction of a young girl in LA. Not only that, it seems to be in the course of this young girl being abducted, there was the mother, the girl's mother was murdered. And they are now looking for not only the young girl, they are looking for the perpetrator. And I'm going to take you to ABC 7, and they did an update on it. So let me take you out there.
And we have more breaking news. An urgent search for an abducted 5-year-old girl.
The suspect, her own father, also wanted in the killing of her mother. It's a story that has been developing hour by hour. Let's get right to Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand live in West Adams. Jory.
Yeah, guys, this is the house where that body was found just off of West Adams Boulevard. Yesterday, police came here to do a welfare check and found her body inside. You can see as we take a look at the front steps here, candles have already been laid down, and there is a child's car seat hanging over the banister. The child is believed to have been abducted by her father. There's a possibility they could already be in Mexico.
Hoping that the baby didn't see anything that, could scar her for life.
What began as an Amber Alert involving a 5-year-old girl has now turned into a murder investigation. Little Dalaiza Fragoso disappeared from her West Adams home on Sunday, believed to have been abducted by her father, Ruben Fragoso. When police went to the home Monday for a welfare check, they found the girl's mother dead inside.
The baby was so beautiful. She always had her little jewelry on. Her hair is always so cute.
Carrie's demeanor changed when I asked her about the father.
Now, I have seen him quite a bit, several occasions.
Sounds like you have some thoughts on that.
Yeah. Pretty much every time you see him, he got a beer can in his hand.
This woman was friends with the mother, Marisol Garcia, went to her wedding, and also believes Ruben may have gotten violent when he drank.
Sí, estoy preocupada porque si él le hizo algo a ella, le puede también hacer algo a la niña. Pero sí sé que él era un poco agresivo y tomaba mucho alcohol.
So she said because it's possible the father did something to the girl's mother, it's possible he could do something to hurt her as well, and that she's worried because he became violent when he drank. Police say there was word that he spoke of leaving the country. His car was discovered at the border. That was the vehicle that was posted on that Amber Alert yesterday when that was sent out. So there is a good chance that Ruben Fragoso and his 5-year-old daughter have already left the country, of course.
Yeah, if they have found the car at the border, so from what I understand, you can leave the US and head into Mexico. You can just walk through. There are like gates that you can go through, and ain't no one checking, ain't no one doing anything. You can just go. There's no security, there's no one checking passports. Just from what I understand, there's just a gate. And for the most part, you can just cross over into Mexico. So if they found the car there and then they left on foot and crossed through the gate, then they're probably already over. Finding them now is going to be a bit of a problem. How sad that this little girl has probably witnessed her mother's demise and seen her own father, who she is now trapped with, be that violent to the mom. I'm trying to find a photo of the little girl. Yeah, that'll do. Wish we always get like really bad photos of people. So here is mum and mum. Here is daughter and father. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to another link at ABC7 and hope that this has what I want. Okay. We're probably gonna have to tweak this new website unblocker that we're using because it's very slow to load, and we can't have that. We can't have that. Yeah, let's go here. Yeah, it's a little, you know, been having some issues with the Wi-Fi at times in my property, and I have a funny feeling maybe a neighbor bought some new device, and it's because we've never had problems with it before, and we think maybe a neighbor bought something on the same spectrum as our Wi-Fi, and it's causing like some sort of interference because it's only been recently, and the cable internet is not affected. It's only the Wi-Fi. So we think that's most likely what happened. Let's have a look. They're saying here an Amber Alert is in place for 2 missing children after their mother was found dead in Hanford on Tuesday. Wait, that's not right. Ping, that's a different story. It's this one. They're saying here officers were called to the 2600 block in the West Adams neighborhood to conduct a welfare check around 12:30 p.m. on Monday. Upon arrival, officers discovered a adult female deceased inside the home. Preliminary investigations indicate the victim died as a result of violence. Investigators identified the victim's husband, Ruben, and they're saying it was only later that day that the California Highway Patrol issued the Amber Alert. They may have already been over the border. It does not take that long to get down to the border. They could have already made it before that Amber Alert was put out. What are they saying here? That yeah, they did find the SUV, but that Ruben and the child are still missing. That is very annoying. Let's see if we can find anything else. Yeah, that they found the car. The license plate was 9DAW715. It was a Land Rover Discovery 2019, and the plates were Californian. But other than that, they are hoping that maybe someone in the border towns on the other side of the border might see them and might call it in to authorities. But how many times do you reckon people actually do that? Not that often, I don't think. Let's have a look. I was hoping we might have a better photo of the dad, but I don't know if we do. All right, let me try and get you guys another let me try and get you another update about the mom and the child. Let's see if we can find anything. All right. Look, she's very young. Here we go. Here's a better photo. Finally loaded. There we go. What are they saying here? That they're basically calling it a parental kidnapping, which makes sense, and that they only identified the Ruben as the girl's father only today. Guys, hold on. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. My postie is super late today. I don't think I've ever seen him come this late in the day. He normally is here first thing in the morning. So I don't know what went wrong for him today to be rocking up right at the end of the day. All right, Amber Alert, let's have a look. All right, vehicles been found. The Amber Alert has been activated by CHP, California Highway Patrol, and that no one has seen them since Monday. Since May 24th. That's Monday, right? 26th? No. So today's Wednesday, and then they 24. So 3 days. Yeah, okay. Yep. So 3 days ago. Wait, what day is it for you guys? 25th, right? So yesterday, yeah, Monday. All right. Sorry, I always forget you guys are an extra day behind. All right, 24. All right, they found the car, but still haven't found them. Well, that's not a good outcome. What's sad is that this is not a story that we haven't read before. There was a very famous one out of what? God, my computer is acting very weird. There was another one out of San Francisco about a year or two ago. Do you guys remember this? A man killed his wife and then took the children and went on the run and went over the border to Mexico. I'll try and find it. They were looking for him for months. I'm just trying to see if they ever ended up finding him. I do not believe so. Yeah, there he is. Actually, that's not him. That is a different one. Update expert. I think it's this guy here. This fella here. Cameron Lee. Cameron Lee. Yeah, this was a very sad story. Did they end up capturing him? Oh, they got him. Okay. At one point, we were looking at this, and I remember he was on the run. Oh, it was only like 4 days ago. Oh, they got him. Yay. I didn't even know. This was one that we did a while ago, and we were looking into it. He'd been on the run for freaking ages, and I think a lot of hope had been lost about actually trying to arrest him. This was Sacramento, not San Francisco. Sacramento. Cameron Lee arrested in Mexico. 2 children recovered and reunited with family. Thank the Lord, because he was brutal. They're saying here, authorities also confirmed the recovery of 2 children connected in the case, Athena and Mateo. They're saying officials say both children were safely recovered and reunited with their maternal grandmother in California. So they can do it. They can get children back from Mexico, and that is great. Very happy about that. I had no idea they had arrested him. I remember when we did the story a while ago, and yeah, here, let's watch the video about him being taken into custody. I want to see that.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. We start tonight with major new developments in the search for a Sacramento fugitive. He was wanted for the murder of the mother of his children, Angelica Bravo.
The Sacramento County District Attorney's Office, along with the FBI and Sacramento Police, announced the arrest of Cameron Lee and the return of Bravo's 2 children. The case started back on July 8, 2024, when Sacramento Police responded to a home on Didcot Circle and found Angelica Bravo dead.
According to Customs and Border Patrol, he was arrested at the San Isidro Port of Entry on May 18th. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias is live at the DA's office tonight. A news conference was held just hours ago.
Roxanne, you've been following this story closely for more than a year now. Tell us about the significance of today.
Laura, this has been a long awaited day here for the family of Angelica Bravo, who has spent sleepless nights hoping for the return of their grandchildren and the arrest of Cameron Lee. I did reach out to Bravo's mother earlier today, and she said she's not ready to speak publicly quite yet of her ex-boyfriend, Cameron Lee, on July 8th, 2024. On Tuesday, Sacramento County District Attorney Tin Ho marked a break in the case.
With the dedicated partnership between the FBI and the Sacramento Police Department, we can now announce that Cameron Lee is in custody.
That is really good because since 2024, I don't think anyone thought they were going to find him. He had somehow integrated himself into society across the border and was doing a pretty damn good job of hiding. And the fact that they somehow got a tip, someone called it in, someone obviously helped authorities. He was even on the FBI's wanted list at one point. He's now in jail. He will face charges for the death of Angelica, which is brilliant. But they had full photos of him at one point. I don't know if these are the new ones now that he's captured. Let's have a look. They had these photos of him up at one point with all these different identifying tattoos. So he was, it's hard for him to hide, but I'm so thankful that they were able to find those two kids. They're saying here it was a tip from a concerned citizen that that's how they found him. Someone called it in. Good work. That is great. They finally brought an end to that one. So if they can do it in the Cameron Lee one, they can do it in this one. It's starting to be that the people that try and run across the border, they are not succeeding in hiding there for very long. That world across the Mexican border it seems to be getting smaller and smaller for fugitives. It's not like the 70s, it's not like the 80s where if you could get across that border after committing a crime, you could basically hide from US authorities for probably the rest of your life. Nowadays, it's not as easy, and it seems like, the fact that we get more of this type of information and the photos, people see it and they call it in. So that is good. Hopefully we can do the same in this particular one. I hope it doesn't go on for 2 years though. But this guy thinks he can do what Cameron Lee failed to do. Hopefully they can. I don't care about him. I just care about bringing the little girl back. If we can get the little girl, he can go off and die over the border. Hopefully bring him back for charges, but I care more about bringing the little girl back to America. Kim said, a case out of Utah currently of child abduction. They think he fled to Mexico. Everyone just wants to go to Mexico, but like we've just shown, that sort of world of fugitives going there is just getting smaller and smaller. They are learning to track them down. They are getting more sort of media over there, and they're putting out more alerts for people. And more people in Mexico are trying to help and do the right thing. So that is brilliant. Child abduction. Let me have a look. Amber. Let me have a look at the Amber Alert website. Yeah, this new internet thing, maybe we'll have to try a different one. This is one that I had used before and it used to be good, but freaking hell, it's slow. We need more better than this. All right, we've got the one in California. Is the one out of Utah from Saratoga Springs in Utah, Wesley Richmond and Will Richmond? That seems to be it. Let me have a look. If it'll load, come on. All right, maybe we'll get it better. Maybe if I can Google it, we'll get it faster. Okay, I see it. So they're just little boys. I thought that, wow, they're really young. There you go. There's a photo of the two of them. It's not the greatest. What is going on here? Vehicle possibly has a temporary tag. License plate may not be visible. There is concern for safety and well-being of the children, as the suspect has been seriously depressed, selling possessions and facing financial stress, and abandoned his home. Who is the person? They don't. Who is it? Dad? It looks like it might be Dad. Okay, who is Dad? Oh, he's Wesley. Okay. So it's Wesley. Oh, that's just a photo of the same kid. I thought it was like brothers, like they're you know, one's like 1, one's like 3 or something. Oh, it's just the same kid. So the dad's name's Wesley, Will? Is that what's going on? Or are they just the 2 kids? Because no, his name is not that. His name is... Sorry, guys, I cannot see you guys. Guys, hold on. Who's calling me? God, what is going on today with the bloody couriers and stuff? There's 2 in like the last... Did they all just take the morning off today? Decided, hey, we're just going to go late in the day. So no, his name is Dane. Why do they not have one up for him? So normally on the Amber Alert website, they normally will do like the children and the parent too. So that's why I thought that maybe it's just one is the kid and one is the dad. It's weird that they've only got the kids on there, but not the dad. Oh, then they do. They're calling him an associated companion. Okay, it's a weird thing to call it. And he's not listed on the main website. Okay, it's freaking weird. Here he is. Dane Richmond, so it's Dad. And he's 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighs 195 pounds, has brown hair, green eyes, was last seen wearing unknown. I hate when people are wearing unknown. It's like the worst brand. The first child abduction victim is identified as Wesley Dane Richmond. He's 0. So he's only 10 months old. He has blonde or strawberry hair and blue eyes. He's 2 feet 2 inches tall, weighing 23 pounds. The second child abduction victim identified by police is Will Thomas Richmond. He's 1. Where's Mum? Is Mum around? Did he take them from Mum? I'm going to have to keep looking into this, guys. Where is Mum? Oh, yeah. I see her. She's saying that he basically took the kids and ran. Why did he do that? So they're saying he may have some sort of like major depressive disorder. I'm just trying to see if there's a photo of Mom. Oh, she's here. Oh, what a beautiful lady. Not that we should be focusing on that, but what a pretty lady. Yeah, there's Mom. She's saying that... So her name is Lizzie Tomic, and she is the mom of the 2 babies. She's saying they believe the dad has abducted them and maybe across the border. Oy, oy, oy. What is going on with people? What are they saying here? Well, I understand now why they said that the kids might have blonde or strawberry hair, because Mum's got quite strawberry hair. They're saying here, license plate, Toyota Camry, a black 2025 model Toyota Camry with license plate 61HL. I think I'd seen a 2025 Camry to know what it looks like. Oh, okay, it's like one of these guys. What color is it? Black. All right, let me give you a photo. If you've never seen a 2025 Camry. No, that's not it. So this is a black 2025 Camry. This is what they look like, and that's what they're saying he's driving, this thing here. So if you see it with that license plate, try and help that mom out. She looks absolutely freaking devastated, which of course she would be. You know, no mom wants her babies taken. So I hope they find this freaking guy. I'm going to take you out to ABC in Utah.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here on ABC4 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Jake White. Jordan Tracy has the weekend off. We start with this. The Utah Department of Public Safety is asking for your help in finding 2 kids. The DPS issued an Amber Alert this morning about those 2 kids who they believe have been abducted in Saratoga Springs since last Saturday. They say 46-year-old Dane Richmond was last seen with his 2 kids. He's described as a white male with brown hair and green eyes, and they believe he's driving a black Toyota Camry with a Utah license plate of A561HL. Now, the 2 kids that were taken are 10-month-old Wesley Richmond with strawberry hair and blue eyes, and his 1-year-old brother Will Richmond with blonde and strawberry hair and blue eyes. DPS says that there is concern for the safety and well-being of the children as well as for their father.
To Dane, just please be safe. We love you and we love those kids. We just want you guys to come home safe. Please get somewhere safe, a hospital, a police department, fire department, anything. We just want you guys to be safe.
It almost feels like she knows what he's like, and I'm sure she does, being that they had children together. I don't know if she thinks he'll hurt them. I think he's obviously run for some reason. Hopefully he doesn't. We want the kids to come home, right? Where did they think they went after going to Utah? Just straight to the border? All right. So they think, yeah, they're not giving us a lot. I wish they would give us a little more on like what route he might have taken, what highway. The boy's father picked them up from their mother's home in Washington State for a scheduled visitation. He subsequently failed to attend a mandatory custody deposition on Friday. That always seems like a bad idea, right? Handing over the kids right before a court case. Sometimes you have to legally. Abandoned his Saratoga Springs home and skipped the scheduled custody exchange on Saturday. Law enforcement notes he has braces and is suffering from severe depression and is in a dire financial situation due to a home foreclosure and suddenly quitting his job. It's not a good idea to quit your job if your home's in foreclosure. You need that cash flow coming in. He faces 2 felony counts of custodial interference. Investigators are tracking his vehicle and phone records. Discovered his vehicle was in Carlsbad, California on May 18th. Federal law enforcement indicates the vehicle did cross the international border into Mexico on May 19th. That's not good. So it sounds like they're also saying the car, if he is still driving it, may also have a different plate or have no plate at all by now. It sucks. A white guy in Mexico, though, with 2 pale as, anything children, they should stick out fairly well. I mean, there are a lot of white people in Mexico too, but not many running from the law. They should stick out fairly well. I don't know, guys. It's really sad. I think there's a lot of problems in this story. Yeah, let me take you out to. I know we can't use this one. Sorry, can't use KUTV because they are very heavy-handed with their copyright. Let's go here then. Let me check one other place. What's with the Amber Alerts at the moment? Let me check what else we can find about Dad. They're saying here, the Utah Department of Public Safety did issue the Amber Alert. They're saying here that the wife or ex-wife is saying, we don't have any idea where he could be at this point. He has not spoken to most of his family in quite some time. We don't have any information from the family members either. Authorities believe Richard may have taken the boys over the state line and said the boys may face imminent danger of injury or either death. Wait, did they say state line or federal line? No, they said international border into Mexico. No, he's off. He's into Mexico. They're saying here, authorities believe Richard may have taken the boys into Mexico. That's what happened, not just into another state, and said the boys may face imminent danger of injury or even death. I hope not. They're saying the mum flew into Utah for a deposition, but Richmond never showed up and neither did the children. When she tried calling, he did not pick up the phone and would not tell her where her children were. There's a better photo of them. All right, what else do we have? They're saying the mum said there's some indication something might happen, but declined to share the details. Why? What did he say? Oh, I'd love to know that information. She said there was some indication something might happen. Had he been threatening? I don't understand that unless it's a legal requirement. What is going on with that photo? Unless it's a legal requirement, why would you hand the kids over if you think something's going to happen? I mean, I know sometimes the courts issue it, so you don't have a choice. You got to hand them over. But I would have gone to I would have gone to the authorities and said, look, he's threatening to hurt them or take them. I don't want to hand them over and I don't want to get in trouble with the judge. But I think there's a real risk here to my children. That's concerning. I know she might have had her hands tied and she might not have been able to do anything, but they're saying here he also fired his attorney, who she says, the ex-partner, says has been cooperating with what she is legally allowed to provide. And the mum says, I just want to get my kids back. I pray every day that they're okay and they're safe. And that he's going to bring them back. He's going to surrender them back to me or that we find him. I'd like to know more about this whole custody breakdown and then what he told her. She doesn't seem to want to give that information up, and I wonder if it's because she doesn't want to spook him. Like if she starts saying things that he's told her, maybe it would spook him if he saw the news coverage. Maybe he'd be like, "Oh, she's telling everyone all my secret plans," and then he would hurt them or something. Gail said that's probably why she was in the court. It could have been. It could have been. Callie Girl said, in my case, they gave custody to the serial killer. I hope that's not I hope that's not a real thing. Let's have a look. All right. Yeah, they're cute little kids, man. I hope they get back to their family. It's awful. That story had not even crossed into the national media. I hadn't seen it yet. I'm sure somebody emailed it to me, but I've not seen that one actually come onto the national media as of yet. Not yet, anyway. Let's have a look. I don't have anything else on it, just that they're looking and asking anyone across the border into Mexico to keep an eye out for him and the 2 children. And if you see them, you should contact. Where's the number? Which number do they want? Okay. Just call 911. And then the other one is Central Utah PD. They call it, so call 911 or 8017-985-600. So they're the 2 numbers that they want you to call. Concerning. Very concerning. If we get any more information on either of the 2 Amber Alerts, I will let you know. Yeah, hopefully my luck of airing Amber Alerts and they suddenly show up and be solved. Hopefully my streak stays alive. Let's hope so. Every time I end up doing these stories, it ends up the next day they're just found. Why? Don't pressure her. It might be private. Maybe she doesn't want to talk in public about it. I'd say, sometimes these things are very personal, deeply personal and very, very traumatic. So if she wants to, she can, but if she's, might be very difficult to talk about. Colleen said they look like dolls. They do. They look like just cute little kids who need to go off and enjoy their life living in the Utah wilderness, because that is like the perfect environment for little boys. You got mountains and rock climbing and fun outdoors things to do. It's a great place to grow up as a kid, and girls too. Girls probably like the hiking and that type of thing. They need to go back to their lives and not be on the run in frickin' Mexico. All right, let me see. Dane Richmond. Let me check one other place, because I've got one other place I want to check for information on him. So they only recently laid the charges of custodial interference when they found out that he had crossed the border. Fair enough. And they're saying here that he suddenly, unexpectedly quit his job. That's always concerning, right? Anytime someone just up and leaves their work. Let me see. He had legal visitations with his sons, but failed to return them during a court-ordered custody exchange. He also failed to show up for a related legal custody deposition. They report him to be seriously depressed. Not good. Anything else? No. Yeah, they just want you to call that number 911 or 801-798-5600. They're the 2 that they want. Okay. Let me check. I don't know if we had another story that I wanted to do, and I think we got off topic. Now I've got to see if I can find it in my tabs again. So give me a minute. You guys keep talking about that while I look and see if I can find this second story that we wanted to do. Where is it? By the way, those 2 men that were arrested for Desi Freeman yesterday, they have now been released from custody without charge. So who they were and why they were taken into custody, not sure, but they were not charged with a crime and they have now been let out of custody. So don't know what that was about, but maybe we'll find out in the future. I'm just trying to see if we have that other. I feel like there was a story. Yeah, I found it. Yep. I want to take you to Fort Lauderdale because I want to ask you a question. Like, do you want to play a game like the Saw guy? Well, I want to know what you would do if you were swimming on a beach in Fort Lauderdale in Florida, and this happened to you, and you go, "Ping, that's a very blurry photo. What exactly are you showing us?" It's Florida. It's the waterline. What do you think people find in Florida in the water that might be this large and man-made? What floats in the water off Florida? Off any state, but often Florida. Is there anything that you know of that could turn you into a millionaire overnight? You could be a millionaire. It's not a human. I don't know if humans float off the coast of Florida. They might, but I don't think they'll make you a millionaire. What could it possibly be? Cali Girl has it right. He found a giant bundle of kilo bricks of Coca-Cola. He found this in the surf, and if this was any other time of the day, I'm guessing he wouldn't have called it in to authorities. The fact that it was broad daylight when he was in the ocean and found it, I think he had very little choice but to call it in. But if this happened in the evening, I guarantee you this would have very quickly disappeared into a vehicle and would have been driven away. But apparently he was swimming on the beach, came across that, and what is it saying? Oh, not all of it is Coca-Cola. Some of it was actually currency. It was actually money. So that's interesting that some of it was Coca-Cola and some of it was money. But apparently the law in Florida says if you are to pick this up and you touch it without calling the authorities, you can actually be done with the same crime as if someone was actually, doing it for real and actually picking up their delivery. You can be charged with like high scale narcotics charges, and they basically do you as if you're the recipient of it because you touched it, you tried to take it. They're just like, it must be yours then. And they're saying here, people are like, I bet you he took a couple of bricks before the authorities showed up. Maybe he did. I'm not sure if he was brave enough to try and take a brick or two and hide it down his board shorts or not. But I was trying to see if we have a video of him. I think there is. I'm trying to see if there's an update out of the local media in Florida. There isn't, but apparently he's a local man who went viral after pulling it out of the surf. A giant parcel of Coca-Cola. So I don't know why there would be U.S. currency in it. Apparently there was a mixture of narcotics and yeah. I'm not sure why it would have both, but apparently it did. So someone put a photo of him and they've edited it, so it's a bit blurry, sorry. But they've like, oh look, he found a giant thing of money. I don't know if he looked at it or whether authorities found it, but yeah, what money? There was no money here. What do you mean? Who called in what? I didn't see anything like that. So yeah, if you were swimming in Florida, keep an eye out for giant bundles of cash in Coca-Cola apparently. So yeah, that would have been a weird day at the beach for some people when you find that. No bricks, only money. Booger sugar. Yeah, that's what his boogers were definitely sugared. Yeah, just put it down the front of your board shorts and be like, you saw nothing. I am out of here. I'm leaving with my ultra large package. Colleen said, keep the dough, turn in the coke. Yeah. Just be like, oh, it was just narcotics. I didn't see anything else over here. There was nothing like that here. Let me see. There was another one. Where is it? We have too many links open, apparently. Yep. We have far too many links open. Oh. And you know what President Trump likes to do to the people who drop these packages off the coast of Florida. You know what he likes to do, right? President Trump has his own way of dealing with narco-related people. That's another reason maybe you shouldn't touch the parcels in the water, because he might do this. He blew up another boat. Like that. Just kaboom. Shot another missile at it. This one was in the Pacific Ocean. I don't know if anyone lived after that one. But I don't know. I'm sure it's probably whatever happens after that missile hits you from a drone. Gonna guess that you may not be alive anymore after that. What was this one? The US military launched another strike on Tuesday on a vessel suspected of transporting rugs into the eastern Pacific Ocean, killing one man and leaving 2 survivors. They're lucky there was even 2 survivors out of that thing. They're saying Southern Command said it immediately noted the U.S. Coast Guard to activate the search and rescue system for the survivors, and in the Pacific Ocean. So normally they like to do it off Florida, but this one was in a different place than normal. There you go. That's what it looked like. That's what the fireball. It just blasted them. So don't be picking up giant things of Coca-Cola in the ocean, because he might get the wrong idea and then do this to you. The Tango toddler. Well, we have to talk about him because he's the one who did this. I have to tell you who did it. I can't be like some man with unlimited power sent the orders. We're not allowed to name him. His name is Voldemort. It's all right. It's related to the story. Colleen said, "I'm shocked he opened the black garbage bag found in the ocean. I'd be terrified if it was body parts." I would be more sure it was body parts than the Coca-Cola, because there's so many times murder victims have been found in the water wrapped up in plastic or, something like that. Happens all the time. Hold on. I think there was one not long ago where they found one. There was one we did a while ago. Do you remember the investigation into a guy who just got out of prison? His name was Peter Deegan. He just got out of being in jail, and they reckon he had been set up because the reason he was in jail is because of a drug thing that had gone wrong. And they reckon that the people who were angry at him for losing their product waited for him to get out of jail and then killed him. And they found his body parts nearby, like several of them. Yeah, I'll show you. You guys remember this one? This was a couple of months ago. No, don't need that. Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Shirley Chief of Police Samuel Santiago, Massachusetts State Police Detective Lieutenant William Donahue, Lieutenant Alfreda Cromwell from the Shirley Police, as well as Assistant District Attorneys Graham Van Epps and Bailey Weiss. As many of you know, yesterday, just about 24 hours ago, at about 5:30 last night, a group of young people were walking over a bridge in the area of Maritime Veterans Memorial Bridge. They reported that they saw something in the water which appeared to resemble a leg, human leg. They called for Shirley Police. Shirley Police and fire responded and eventually confirmed that what they had seen in the water was, in fact, a human leg. Last night, state police officers assigned to the Middlesex DA's office, as well as Shirley Police, the Massachusetts State Police, Underwater Recovery Unit, continued their investigation out at that pond or waterway. They were able to recover additional body parts from the water. Those parts appear to have been clean cut. That is, they were severed with a sharp force instrument. We did not recover a full body. The search is continuing for additional body parts, but we were able to make an identification from the body parts that were recovered. We determined those body parts, which appear to all be from the same person, to be the remains of a gentleman named Peter Deegan, age 69. Mr. Deegan.
So, yeah, I would be more scared that if I was pulling out a package out of the water, it was most likely going to be human remains rather than any sort of powdery, stuff for people. But yeah, this guy, I'll show you a photo of him. His name was Peter Deegan. They reckon, yeah, he was killed basically because a transportation, importation of, chemicals that some humans like to do. He was involved with it, and when the drugs got taken, they waited for him to get out of prison and basically got their revenge on him, and then dumped all his body parts in a pond. I don't think they found the rest of him. I think they just found parts of him. There's the pond. This is where they found him. The kids were walking over this bridge, and they looked down into that water, and they knew that there was, human down there. I don't think we ever got an update about what happened to him. I'm going to try find out if there was a update to what happened to that guy. I don't think there was ever an update. Just that they are investigating, but they believe that it was related to why he was in prison, basically. That's it. He's a convicted Coca-Cola trafficker who became the victim of a gruesome homicide in late February or early March. And I'm just trying to see if there was any update for what happened according to yeah, no, they never. I don't think they found the rest of him either. Yeah, they've not found a full body. They only found some body parts in that river, and they said he was easily identifiable because his fingerprints are in the system from being in jail, so they were able to ID him pretty quickly. So yeah, don't be pulling things out of the water, ladies and gentlemen. You may get the Coca-Cola. You may get the guy who transported Coca-Cola. Either way, they all seem to relate back to the same thing, don't they? They all seem to relate back to the same activity. Gayla said, I hope their parents told them that's what happens when you take the... Yeah, I hope so. They'll probably never do it again. They won't even think about it. They'll be like, remember that guy that we saw? That's... Who? Yeah, Kim's daughter's a hero? What? Your daughter's found a squirrel in the hotel pool? Oh my god, you gave a squirrel CPR. Did it come back to life? Now we have to know. Did it come back to life? All right. I don't... Okay, no, we don't care about that. I'm gonna check my my links. I thought we had one more story, and now I'm like confused why it's not on my screen. Oh, it was the I know what it is now. It was Parabon did a yes, here it is. I found it. Yeah, now I know what it is. It's from California. And Parabon want your help in trying to identify someone from a number of years ago. Okay, that's a good one too. They made a rendering of this lady, and they're not sure who it is. So I want to. Hopefully this loads and we can watch it. No active pre-roll available. Okay, all right, here we go.
Investigators are hoping new forensic technology can help identify a woman found dead in the desert more than 3 decades ago. The Riverside County Regional Cold Case Homicide Team has released a rendering of the victim whose body was discovered in Desert Center back in October of 1994. Officials say SoCal Edison workers made the discovery near Eagle Mountain Road in Desert Center, north of the I-10. Investigators believe she was between 25 and 35 years old, about 5 feet tall, and wearing a necklace with a ship's wheel and anchor medallion. An ancestry profile suggests the victim was out of Southeast Asian descent. Authorities are now asking anyone who recognizes the woman, her jewelry, or has information to call the number on your screen.
Yeah, so they used the technology to make that sort of photo of her, a advanced sort of computer generated photo of her, but I have another one of her. Yeah, here. So they did a sketch of her years ago, and I'm going to show you the difference. The sketch on the right is after post-mortem. So that was when she was found dead, unfortunately, right? So this is when they found her body after it'd been laying there in the freaking desert climate for quite a while. The one on the left is the one they used the computer to generate a likeness of her. It's already with Parabon. They do basically very similar work, not quite the same, but they do very similar DNA work. So it's already with a company that does it. Yeah, so that's what they want you to, if you know her, or did you have a friend that, went missing that looked like this? But I have a piece of jewelry too. This piece of jewelry is about one of the only things that she was left with when they found her body. And they're trying to figure out what is the significance of this. I think it's like a necklace, a pendant. What does this mean, and why would a female be wearing this? Does it mean that her parents worked in something with the ocean? I don't know. Does anyone know what this means? Because I'm not sure. I would just figure that her parents have a background with some sort of fishing or, the water, the ocean, marine symbol. I don't know if it's a military symbol. Use Google AI. Can have a look. All right, let me see if I can upload an image. All right, let's see what it tells me. It doesn't really tell me. It just says that it's obviously a nautical medallion, and that they were very popular a number of years ago, but they're just considered nautical. Like it's a type of fashion as well. They're saying here that the ship's wheel means leadership, and the anchor means stability, hope, and security. Okay. They're saying designs like this are very closely related to official insignias of several maritime organizations, including the U.S. Coast Guard and Navy chiefs, merchant marines, and maritime academies. They could also be a part of mariner groups or yacht clubs. Maybe it's a yacht club or a something like that, but I wouldn't expect it to be in gold. You don't make things out of gold for no reason, really. Hey, Robbie T, how are you, my friend? Sailor's boyfriend? Maybe. I don't think we even know. There's no anything here about family, anything. I don't have anything on her background. Well, they don't know who she is. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get back to my other link. Yeah, unidentified. So they're trying to find out her name. So we don't have a name. We don't have a, who's her father or anything like that. I'm just trying to see if there's any other details for us. They said that she was around 25 to 35 years old, roughly 5'5", and between 130 and 150 pounds with shoulder length hair. She was wearing a yellow metal chain necklace plus the medallion. They said they've checked through the years, including fingerprint and dental. Investigators have been unable to identify her, and no new investigative leads can be developed. They've not been able to find any investigative leads. And they're saying they do have a genealogist team working to try and identify her, but so far they have not been able to find a family tree for her. So could she be someone who immigrated? And that is why, I told you guys a number of weeks ago that people of Southeast Asia, they have, how we do genetic genealogy? People of Southeast Asian origin have a much harder time being identified compared to white people. The white people have extensive history, especially in the US and the western part of the world. So it's a lot more not easy, but they can identify people's family tree. People from Southeast Asia, a lot of it's not documented, a lot of it's not public, a lot of it you can't get a hold of. Chinese government doesn't allow, people getting access to that type of thing. So a lot of the time it's very hard to identify people of Asian background. Yeah, I would think she might be, especially for the time period. What year was it? 1994. There was a big influx into Southern California of between 1980 and the early 1990s. There was quite an influx into Southern California of people from Southeast Asia. And they found her October 20, 1994 in Southern SoCal. And the Edison employees found her lying in the open desert. The body was found near Eagle Mountain Road. Eagle Mountain Road. No, not in Tennessee. In California. Oh, she was way out. Oh my God, she was almost she was almost near Arizona. She was right on the sort of border. Yeah, I'll take you. This is Eagle Mountain Road out here. Edison employees found her when they were tending to equipment out here. So where is the equipment? Is there any equipment out here that we can see? What did they say? 1 mile from the 10. 0.6 miles north of the 10 freeway. Okay. This is the 10 freeway. She was found like here. This is about just under a mile. Oh, wait, hold on. 1 mile. She was found just around here in the desert, just around here. So this is about, yeah. I don't know if they mean like by the road length or actually by the crow flies. If they mean by the crow flies, so we'll just say it's up here. This is a good in between both. So somewhere here, they just found her lying on the ground in the middle of the desert. And you can see it's very deserty. There's like just sand out here. There's nothing else. I don't know where the equipment is that they were looking at. It could not be here anymore. I mean, since 1994, it just may not be here anymore. But yes, lying on the sand, right there, dead. How she got there, why she got there, who put her there, we don't know. What a horrible place to end up, just on your back in the desert like that. Yeah, I reckon. I think if there was a crime scene there, they would have said they found blood and, whatever. But the fact they just found the body tells me obviously she was killed in another location and then taken out here and dumped. Because this is so far away from really anything. So if we look out here, look how far away it's closer to Arizona than there's the Arizona border. It's closer to Arizona than it is to sort of LA. LA is like all the way over here. So she's way past Joshua Tree. There's Joshua Tree. There's Palm Desert. There's Indio. This is where Coachella is. And she's another 20 miles out here. Very, very desolate. Not a place you would just be hanging out to be murdered. The only thing I can think of is in the valley over here, and I'll take you there. Over here near Indio, all in this region, there's a lot of immigrant workers that when they first come to the country and they've got no money, they often work in farms out this way. Not that far in the desert, but they often work on the outskirts of like Coachella, Indio, Thermal. Out in this region, there's a huge farm. See here, there's a huge farming population here, often staffed by immigrants. And maybe she was a farm worker. And then they killed her and decided to drive her down the 10 and then just dump her out here in the desert. I mean, it's a possibility. Yeah, it's like no man's land. Yeah, I'm not sure what the jewelry means for her, but just knowing the area myself, that would be my theory, is that she probably worked on the farms. What is this? The F is this thing? This was probably not here in 1994. I just want to know what it is. What is it? The F is that? Solar? Solar panels? Is that what that is? They look like solar panels, right? Is it a solar farm? Look how big it is. I wonder if that's what it is, a solar farm. Bizarre. Athos 2 North, Bess. Athos 2 North. Athos 2 North. CA. Yeah, it's a solar facility. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a huge solar panel place. Wow, never seen anything like it. Oh yeah, Oberon Solar Storage Facility. Wow, that's a lot of solar panels, eh? Back in 1994, this wouldn't have been here. This would have just been desert. Wow. God, imagine installing all that. That would have taken years to do. Oh, that's cool. They got heaps of them. Look how many there are in this region. Look at that. It covers up so much on my screen, I can't actually like show them all to you. They stretch all the way down this 10 freeway bit. Look. It's crazy. I wonder if it helps people in California get cheaper electricity or not. Maybe this is what they meant. Like, you remember they said in that article, it was an Edison employee that found them. Maybe they were working on an early version of this or scouting land for the project. Maybe. I mean, it's not that far away. We're only talking like just across from it. You know, they said an Edison Bell employee found her here. Maybe they were looking for locations to build this thing back in the 90s. If you fly into this airport, Desert Center Airport, you can actually see the solar farm. Cool. Never seen a solar farm like this in my life. It looks like this one is brand new. I don't know if they have the panels on. Oh, they do. There you go. If you've never seen that before, that was pretty cool. Jules said used to be tobacco, now solar. Okay. Lynn's. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. Apparently, it's one of those days where everyone decided to take the morning off and they came only at the nighttime. Bizarre. I've never had so many package things in the afternoon. Yeah, so there you go. They found her out here. I don't know, guys. Do you think maybe this is going to be unless genetic genealogy can figure it out or a family member comes forward? I don't know. This is a very difficult like ask of the population. Like, if you didn't know her missing in 1994, why would you remember it now? You know, the fact that it's been all over the TV in California, apparently, you would think if people recognized her, they would have come forward. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Investigators say an ancestry profile suggests the victim may have been out of Southeast Asia, but that's it. They're saying they can't go back any further. Yeah, it's pretty common, unfortunately, with people from that background. They just don't have the same type of DNA and family documents that they do for Western people. Western people just have a lot more than people from Asia. I'm trying to have a look if there's anything else. What did they say? In the open desert, 0.6 miles off of North 10. Yeah, that's where we had it on the map, 0.6 miles. Yeah, okay. Oh, they did. The bone samples from the victim were collected by the Riverside County Coroner's Office and sent to the DNA analysis. Okay, so they're looking at it. And then in 2024, Parabon Nanolabs created a photo rendition of the victim and a snapshot of her ancestry, which determined that she was of Southeast Asian descent. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Yeah, they're saying a genealogist assigned to RCCHT has been actively working to try and identify the victim, but so far, since 2023, when they've had her DNA, they've not been able to find a family tree for her. So, unfortunately, Native American? They said Southeast Asia. I don't think she's Native American. I think she's got like sort of like I don't know, maybe like Filipino, Malaysian, so like Taiwanese, something like that. Could even be like Indonesian, something like that, something in that region. I don't know about Chinese. Sort of looks more like Malaysian, something like that in that region. Malaysia, Thailand. Yeah, Indo. I don't think we're looking at mainland China at all. All right. If you know anything about this necklace, send it in to them so they know. Send it in and tell them what you know about the necklace and what it means or who might own one, and maybe help out the team trying to track down who this woman is. You know, she deserves to go back to her family. She deserves to go home. And there's probably a family out there somewhere who sent their daughter to America for a better life, think that she's probably just lost contact with them and is off having babies and having a family and, expanding her life. And they have no idea that she died 30 years ago, maybe not long after getting to California. So, very, very sad story. An immigrant story that did not work out, unfortunately, I would say. Huh. There's another one. What? Who's this? There's another one here. Did we do this one? Wharton County, Texas? Feel like did we do this one? Hold on, guys. I'll get you some photos. You guys tell me if we did this one. This woman found in Wharton County, and they're saying they don't know who it is. I'm just trying to get some more details. It's loading a bit slow. So give me a second. Okay. Oh, stupid sites in there. They just hate when you use an ad blocker. They're like, stop using an ad blocker. Go away. Okay. Authorities released image of the jewelry the victim was wearing when found Friday, the 18th of June. They believe that she's between 14 and 17 years old, and that she was wearing a T-shirt with the words Ohana in blue and the photograph of the character Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. The victim was wearing shorts with the images of coffee mugs and donuts and was wearing a lightweight jacket with the brand name of Lovetree. They said they don't know who she is, and they're trying to figure out who she might be. Here's a photo of the jewelry. Very old style jewelry. Very dirty too. It's very, very dirty jewelry. They said an autopsy was complete. They're not releasing how she died. There you go. They found human remains off County Road 225 in Wharton County. They're calling her Jane Doe Ohana. And they're saying that she was a teen girl between 14 and 17. Huh. And it was in 2021. Okay, and then there is that her? I don't know. Ah, they got it up. I hope this is her. I hope I'm not mixing up two stories. Oh, it is her. They found out who it was just a week. I don't know what happened. We got booted. I don't know what happened just then. The man. It's the man. They're coming to get us. I don't know what the hell just happened then, guys. We just got booted or something? I don't know. We were looking at the girl in Wharton County, and we got booted. I was telling you about this girl in Wharton County that they found, but apparently a week ago, they actually ID'd her and they found out who she was. And her boyfriend at the time, she was 16. Her name is Yemi Masela Beltrand. She was identified after being reported missing in April of 2021. They ended up arresting her boyfriend. She was a victim of DV violence. So they ended up IDing her. I was just about to show you like her photos and stuff, and then we got booted. So that ended up being her. Just a week ago, they ID'd her after not knowing who this woman was for like a number of years. You guys can't see me now? I'm back. I hope you guys can see me. It's showing it working for me. Hold on, guys. Okay, you guys can see me again. Yeah, so this will end up being the girl. That ended up being her, and they found her in a rural Wharton County road in 2021, and then she ended up being identified as a 16-year-old Houston teen. Her boyfriend now charged with murder. So since 2021, he was on the run, basically hiding that he had killed her and dumped her on a rural road. Brutal, but I'm glad. So they ended up charging a 27-year-old guy, and his name is Luis Beltran Mendoza, and they're saying they have not been able to find him. He is on the run and at large. So they don't know where he is. And if you know this guy, Luis Mendoza, and you knew him as the boyfriend of this young lady here, you got to call it in, because apparently he's had a 5-year head start. A 5-year head start, this guy. 5 years he's been able to run. That is a long time for a victim, like for a perpetrator to be on the run. So at the time, if she was 16 at the time, and it was 5 years ago, he was 21. So he was 21 and she was 16 at the time of her murder. 21, I'd say, at the time, and she was 16. Yeah. And just a week ago, they were able to figure out her name. Let me see if I can get like an actual update video for you of her. A 16-year-old teen. Yeah, she was 16 years old, and it's interesting that she has the same last name as her boyfriend, Beltran. Is that common? So he is Luis Omar Beltran Mendoza. Oh no, his is spelled Beltran. Hers is spelled Beltrand. So similar, but not the same. I'm just trying to see if there's any other updates about her. Not a lot. But locally, she was called interesting. They called her the Ohana Doe. Cute. Yeah.
County near Hungerford is now officially part of a murder investigation. That's where the remains of a teenage girl were found. Hello, I'm Lynn Cannon.
And I'm Mia Gradney. Good to be with you. The Fort Bend County Medical Examiner now says the girl was shot to death. As Sherman Chow tells us, there are new clues in this mysterious case.
If you drive down US 59, about 50 miles southwest of Houston to just outside of Hungerford, find County Road 225, you will end up here, where Friday morning, a property owner was clearing off some brush.
He wasn't sure if it was human remains or animal remains.
The badly decomposed remains had been there perhaps 2 to 3 months. They were of a girl roughly 14 to 17 years old with at least shoulder-length black or dark brown hair. More information is expected with full autopsy results in about 6 weeks, but we do know she was murdered.
The victim died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head.
The Wharton County Sheriff's Department now releasing this image, a Lovetree brand lightweight tan hooded jacket you can buy at Walmart. The victim was wearing one like it. She also had on a blue t-shirt with the word Ohana and the Disney character Stitch. She'd been wearing these rings. Investigators do not think she is a local girl.
Currently in Wharton County, we do not have any missing persons at all.
Deputies are now checking for potential matches of missing persons across the U.S. Investigators say one possibility, that she is a human trafficking victim.
Well, they were wrong about that. She ended up being local to the area, was never reported missing, and her boyfriend killed her. So they were quite wrong about their theories about who they thought she was and why she was there. The three of them were... What? The detectives interviewed a friend of the victims who told Harris County that she saw Beltran's boyfriend kill her. You don't want to come forward with this information at all after 5 years? The woman said the three of them were on I-45 when Luis hit Beltran in the face. According to the witness, Beltran then threatened to report him for unspecified crimes. That's when the boyfriend shot and killed her by shooting her 3 times in the head. Okay. They're saying the woman said Beltran Mendoza threatened to kill her too before dropping her off at a house where she was held against her will for a few days and finally released. The woman was able to identify Beltran Mendoza in a photo lineup. Bizarre. There's a photo of the both of them and him, so they can't find him. They're looking for him, and that's a photo of her. Crazy to me. I don't know what to tell you except for that's a lot of information to keep to yourself about a murder. That this woman witnessed her friend be killed, and it wasn't until investigators tracked her down that they were able to like do anything with it. So very strange. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know how you are able to keep that a secret. Where he is right now, maybe back across the border or something. Maybe he's gone into Mexico. I don't know. They're saying they don't know either. Just that he has had murder charges filed against him, but they don't know where he is. So let me just double check they don't know. Because this is all from like there is a guy on Instagram with the same name, Luis Omar Beltran Mendoza. Is that the same guy? It is the same guy. What? Oh, this was posted. Is that her? Oh my god, how do I get this? I think this is her. I don't know how to get these photos for you. Yeah, that is definitely him. Yep. Beltran Lewis. I think if we search his name in full, we'll be able to get it. Give me a sec. I found him. He's on Instagram. He's on Instagram, and that he was posting with a female. I'm just trying to see if I can get the one he was posting with a girl, and it looks like her, but I'm not sure if it is. Very ballsy to be posting on Instagram when apparently you killed your girlfriend. Yeah, I'm trying to show you this photo. It's a little like flushed out. I don't know if that is her. Maybe it's a different girl. There's the other photo from his Instagram. I don't know. Do you think that's her? I don't know. Maybe it's a different girl. But that's definitely him. Thank you, I Hate Mornings. I will have a look at that one. But that's definitely him. He's got a very specific look about him. But so where he went, where he's gone now, I don't think we know. So they've filed those charges, but yeah, they don't know where he is. Now, let me have a look. When was the last time he posted anything on his Instagram? Looks like he was hanging around Houston, which makes sense. See translation. Is that her? Where's her photo? It's just really strange because it sort of looks like... Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if the girl we're seeing in the photos is her. It might be a new... How long is 410 weeks ago? That is the last time he posted on Instagram. 410 weeks ago. Weeks ago from today. That would make it Wednesday, the 18th of July, 2018. So that his last post on Instagram would have been 3 years before the murder. So I don't know if that's her, maybe a different girlfriend. But yeah, it would have been the 17th, 18th of July, 2018. So multiple years before that. Why he stopped using his Instagram, don't know. But that is him. They're trying to find him, track him down for those human remains found in Wharton County and now identified as that 16-year-old girl. There you go. So her name was Yaimi. Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong. Her name was Marcela Beltrand. And yeah, so they're saying identified in 2025, but she was killed sometime before April 30th, 2021. But they don't know when. Yeah, so they're saying he remains on the run. If you see that guy, call it in. Why is it still up? I don't know. But it is. If you search his full name, I'll give it to you. You guys want to do a bit of snooping on this guy? Hold on. I will get you here. You guys can check it out for yourself. This is his full name. And if you just pop it into Google, his Instagram pops up. So he doesn't seem to have any others. That's the only one I can find from him. But he hasn't posted in like 8 years. I don't know. But he is wanted for murder of his 16-year-old girlfriend. There you go. Let's see. I find it interesting, like, that is the only photo we have of her. Okay. There you go. Wanted for the murder of his 16-year-old girlfriend. All right. I'm going to get out of here. We're way late. Good night, everyone. I love you all. Thank you to the people who were very kind, Sean and McSpunky and Sean and Lisa. Lisa, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. You guys are very sweet. Very kind to Ping. Hold on. Yes, Lisa, thank you, my friend. It's very, very generous of you. I will be back tomorrow to hang out with you guys. Good night, everyone. Bye.